Morning Blitz begins now.
All right. Here we go. Thursday. The new Friday. Unless, of course, you have to get up and work tomorrow. Then it's just Thursday. But for some, the new Friday.
Boy, off the air, we're kicking it off strong by talking about diseases.
Yeah, you know.
I love a good disease.
My HIV's out of control these days. What do you do?
Oh.
Your HIV? Look, I've led a very unmoralistic life, and it's catching up to me.
Isn't... did I see, is this National HIV Testing Day, I think.
Is it really?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought I read that this morning.
Should we just let you go now to go to the clinic?
I feel like at this point,
I'd like to know what's going on over there.
A few more hours really matter.
What are you going to do with those few hours? I guess that's the important thing to know.
Yeah, it is. Today is National HIV Testing Day.
Get tested. You never know.
It's also National Sunglasses Day.
Sometimes when you hang with people with questionable morals, you pay the price. Or so I've heard.
Should Kelly and I be worried then?
So I've been told. No, not at all. Speaking of hanging with people with unquestionable morals, if you want to say hi to me, Full Throttle Thursday tonight, 6 to 9 at Fortress of Bets. Me and my unquestionable morals will be out there with all the Jeeps, bikes, and exotics.
That'll be a good time.
Oh,
got great weather, too.
I know.
Nothing but sunshine. It's like a high of 81 today. It's like perfect.
Yeah. Fine June day.
Yes.
Here in the capital city. Anyway.
The capital city.
Did you guys enjoy the storms yesterday? The rain?
Yes. I
this is thrilling over here.
I love a storm. I really, really love a storm. And there's a gigantic, 100-foot tree in our backwoods area that's sort of tilting at a very worrying angle. And we are dying for, lightning to hit it or for wind to blow it over or something because it needs to come down. And it's so expensive to get somebody to come take a gigantic tree down like that. It's really expensive. So we're really praying that nature takes its course. So yesterday during that storm, I'm going, come on, man, come on. Fall over. But it didn't. It's still holding strong. It's hanging on, baby.
How much to take it down?
Well, you can spend a couple of grand.
Oh, wow.
To get and who's just got that lion? We can do it, but I'd rather not spend the money.
Yeah,
We'd rather not spend that kind of money on a tree.
Right. I get it.
Just... lightning, come on.
What does it cost to get a tree trimmed up? You got
it's
a big
expensive.
Like
we have a Japanese maple. We spent hundreds of dollars to have that thing trimmed. Hundreds of dollars.
That's better than thousands.
Isn't it? Don't you get a pass if it goes into power lines because the electric company will do it for you because they have to?
Yeah, we don't have any power lines.
This grows up onto our house, onto our roof, and so we had a company come out. I don't know, if it's $500 or something. That's a lot of money to spend on trimming, which we don't anymore. Charlie just took he just trimmed it up this year.
Did you?
He's like, I'm not paying for that again. Clip,
I'll tell you
clip.
what.
Looks great.
During the pandemic, we started doing yard stuff at the house because the lady who had the house before us, I swear to God, she just walked into the backyard and decided she wanted something one day, and let's put a little mini bridge over a river that goes nowhere except trails through the backyard. Let's put a gazebo out behind the garage where no one can see it. So I remember the day, though, that I cracked open the chainsaw and cut that gazebo down. Let me tell you, there's something about using a chainsaw that just makes you feel a certain way.
I love my chainsaw, man. I don't
know what it is, but it's the sound, and you just go out there and you start cutting through boards.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It was blistering hot when we did it, mind you, but I was so excited every time I revved that bastard up and started cutting it down.
Absolutely. We got a tree in the backyard, probably 70, 80 feet tall, and it desperately needs trimmed up. It's got a lot of the branches underneath that are growing downward now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so much tree, the light's not getting through where it needs to, so.
Leave it to Blitz.
I didn't know what that cost.
Leave it to Blitz Nation to provide some suggestions, Kelly. Someone said a stick of dynamite at the base would take care of that problem.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I need to know, collateral damage on that idea because it's not a horrible idea, but is it a horrible idea?
There's a better one out there. Jeff Smith,
Yes.
our buddy, said, Kelly, I'll cut it down for free for the firewood.
Dude, it's literally 100 feet tall, Jeff. I mean, if you want that, you're welcome to it. We don't need the firewood. It's all yours.
So you do probably need a trained professional to base the angle of how the tree would fall.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious how the tree's going to fall unless you really butcher this job. It's going to fall in the direction it's leaning. It's really at a scary angle at this point.
It's ready to go, huh?
Ready to go.
Maybe that'll do it.
It could be. I have tried pushing on it. It didn't work.
All right, we got more Easy Riders Rodeo tickets for you today. Let's get to Morning Blitz trivia with $25 to waterbeds and stuff up for grabs. If you're the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700. TripAdvisor has released its list of the best tourist attractions in the world. Of the best tourist attractions in the world, what was ranked number 1? What?
Dumpwater, Florida.
Dumpwater, Florida.
It is not that. Do not guess Dumpwater, Florida. Tell us what's number 1 at 99700. Be first and get the gift card.
You're smiling.
I love that music bed.
It's
Sorry, I'm
Florida.
smiling.
No, it's just you were fired up. I thought it was something epic, and it was.
It was an epic music bed from Code Orange.
Okay. 625. Morning Blitz.
It's the little things, man.
It is. Like Dick Rick put the finger up like something epic was coming, and I was waiting,
I guess you don't recognize epic.
No, everybody's definition of epic is different. It's
It is.
Lewis, Thick, and Kelly. Good morning. Morning Blitz trivia. The question.
TripAdvisor put out a list of the best tourist attractions in the entire world, and we wanted to know what they had listed for number 1. What do you guys think it is?
I already guessed.
I know. What did you say?
Dumpwater, Florida.
Dumpwater, Florida. Kelly?
Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. Detroit?
Wow.
Like Dumpwater is like if you want to go to Disney but you don't have that kind of budget. I think they have like a petting zoo that consists of an old cat and someone's hamster. It's nice.
Wait, is this Ohio specific?
No, the world.
Oh, the world specific?
The best tourist attraction in the world.
The best tourist attraction in the world is Cedar Point. It's got to be.
I don't disagree with that one.
I would not put that up there.
Okay.
Number 1, though, is a U.S. landmark.
Okay, wait.
I don't know why it's number 1, but yeah, it's a U.S. landmark.
Mount Everest. I mean,
Mount Everest.
what's the one with all the faces on it? I can't.
Yeah, that's what I was
Mount
thinking
Rushmore.
of.
Mount Rushmore. Thank you.
Didn't even make the top 10.
Oh, that's a shame.
All right, it's got to be the Grand Canyon. Dang it.
Didn't even make the top 10.
It's a landmark in the U.S.
The Washington Monument,
Nope.
All right.
because it's phallic in nature.
How about the Statue of Liberty?
That didn't make the top 10.
Niagara Falls. It's got to be.
Not in the top 10.
Okay, just tell us.
The Golden Gate Bridge.
The Empire State Building. I know, right?
At least give us the Space Needle.
And this is all based on user reviews.
Okay.
Now, number 2 makes more sense. The Eiffel Tower.
Ah, all right.
You know. Number 3 is the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam.
Okay. The Empire State Building, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I have never been there. I've been
haven't
to
either.
New York City. I've just never made it a point to go to the Empire State Building.
Yeah, I mean, other things in the top 10, the Colosseum in Rome, the Louvre in Paris, you know.
Those all make sense.
Yeah. The Milan Cathedral. There's a church in Spain. Is it the Sagrada Familia?
Is the 16th chapel up there?
No.
The Sistine Chapel?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 16th, the one that Michelangelo
Yeah,
got to if he
the-
painted 15 after he painted 15 others.
Oh my gosh.
The 15th made it, but not the 16th.
Not even the Alamo, huh?
No. I mean, again, this is in the world.
The Hollywood sign?
Nope. The Crystal Caves in the Cayman Islands.
Now that sounds gorgeous.
And then, let's see, Garden by the Bay, a huge nature park in Singapore.
Oh, Look at the Cayman Crystal Caves. This is amazing.
Yeah, see, we're talking about the world. We're talking about that. That's why I'm like, the Empire State Building is above that, what you're looking at right now.
This is really wild.
And then the largest mosque, it's in Abu Dhabi. It's called the Sheikh Zayed. Those are the top 10. They also rank the top amusement parks, and the top spot went to Disneyland Paris.
Okay.
In the U.S., it was Dollywood. Dollywood was second overall. So, but nobody got it. Nobody was able to guess. And why would you guess the Empire State Building?
Yeah, we made about 20 guesses here and never hit it. So.
Yeah.
But
that was a little more challenging, for sure.
Yeah, Empire State Building. Yeah, it would not be number one on my list.
At 640, normal or no? That's the question. Normal or nope? I stress the. In case you were wondering. It's Kelly, Thick, and Lewis. Who'd like to go first?
I will.
Go ahead.
All right. To organize your grocery list by section instead of just random items. Normal or nope? I thought I have to do that, right? The nope.
I would say normal, because even if I go into the grocery store for, let's say, a couple of things, I follow the same flight plan no matter what. Even if I know, like, everything I need is all the way in the dairy section, I will still start in the produce when I come in and work my way around.
Okay.
Okay, now that's kind of odd to me.
So organizing by section, I would get it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing as you do. Always start in produce, even if I don't need produce.
Yep.
That's where I start.
Yep.
If I'm making a big grocery list, I will do it by section. I know that Kroger in Johnstown like the back of my hand, and I need to be that organized if it's a giant grocery list, like we're getting ready for a party or something like that. If it's just a few items, just write it down.
Yeah.
I'm not doing things based on section. If it's just like, 6 or 7 items, no big deal. What about?
I would think organizing by section is normal.
Is it normal for you, Thick Rick?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to be organized, efficient, and quick through that grocery store.
Surprise.
Well, I do all the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So when I'm making my list, I am making it not just by section, but by aisle.
Yeah, I do that too.
I know that store. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm in there every single week. Now, if I just needed some ice cream, I'm not going left through the produce. I'm going to shoot down to the
right.
produce. But Lewis is evidently going through
No, I follow the same flight plan. Otherwise, I feel off.
I do like to do that in case, because if I only have one thing on my list and it's ice cream, I still might want to buy other things.
Sometimes
I'll do that too. But if I'm in a rush, I'll just, jam straight over to the ice cream.
Sometimes I even talk to myself. Like when I get close to the self-checkout, I'm like, Maverick, you're at 3/4 of a mile. Call the ball. Roger, Maverick has the ball. Just because. That's probably a nope for me.
So, anyway, we all agree, though, to organize by section is normal.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelly.
All right, how about eating potatoes raw with salt?
That's a hard nope for me.
Oh, I find that very normal.
Me too.
Yeah, I've done that many
a raw
times.
Whole
potato?
life.
Yes.
I mean, like, from being young in the kitchen and potatoes were being boiled or mashed or whatever, my mom's chopping those bad boys up. I always ask for a piece of it.
Yeah.
Put some salt on that bad boy and eat it.
Can't do it without the salt, though.
Now, no.
Yeah.
And
it's not the same without
I tell
the
you,
salt.
I don't do it as an adult for whatever reason. I don't know. I could eat a whole potato raw with salt if I wanted to.
I could,
That's
yeah.
how good it is.
Have you ever tried it, Lewis?
No, I don't choose to.
You should.
I'll pass.
Just try
Hard
a bite.
pass on
You
me.
won't even try it?
No, I don't like. I know people who eat radishes with just salt.
Oh, no. I would
That's
never
what I do.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
I love a radish
I don't even
with
like
salt.
radishes.
Listen, I salt my watermelon.
I know
It's
a lot of people that do that.
delicious.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
don't
people
like
do
watermelon, so I don't touch that.
Yeah.
There's one that just got thrown out of our refrigerator yesterday, and I've never been so happy to see anything go in my life.
that. I think you should at least be willing to take a bite.
No,
just one
pass.
bite of a raw potato with some salt on it.
I don't eat a raw potato. That's why they make French fries. They're hot, greasy, and full of stuff that's bad for you. Or some mashed potatoes, or some steamed potatoes with garlic and butter. Yeah, that's fine.
What
But
about
not-
a baked potato?
Oh, yeah, a good baker is fine.
All right.
A baker?
Steve said, Chad said, Kelly, you may know that Kroger until they swap it out and jack
Dude.
you off. They've done that to
Dude.
my Kroger. It drives me crazy. Then I got to figure out my flight plan. It's like I'm flying a new mission.
Yeah, when they reorganize the whole thing, which to me is smart for a business to reorganize, so you'll maybe buy more because you're seeing things that you would normally see. But I absolutely hate that. It stresses me out. So don't do that anymore, Kroger.
Goose says he always hits the clearance aisle at Kroger. I didn't know they had a clearance aisle at Kroger.
Yeah.
Is that where you get old, out-of-date food? I mean, what is
that? I think it's out of date. I think it's probably approaching the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Mark said sections keep you from going back and forth through the store. Chris does the crazy zigzag all over the store.
Yeah, that takes too much. That's a waste of time.
When you're in the ice cream aisle and you realize you forgot the produce you needed.
The one thing that I won't get on clearance, any kind of meat or seafood or chicken that's marked down, I won't touch that. Like if it's on the end cap and you go, it's got a couple, maybe a day or two left, I won't touch that. I got to buy that for it. But I will buy, like, if some cookies are marked down or some bread is marked. Like if I know I'm going to make like homemade garlic bread,
like instantly, you're making it today,
and there's a flute like that's on sale, you better believe I'll buy that bad boy for $1.29 and take it home. It's my turn already.
Lewis, yes.
Just eating the KFC chicken skin and leaving the actual chicken.
Ooh, that's okay.
I mean, I understand
like the extra crispy. You're getting that all that crispiness, but you don't really want the chicken meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's a nope for me. But my grandma used to do that all the time. Like, my grandmother would eat the skin off fried chicken. If there was, like, if we ordered pizza, and you know how sometimes you get, like, the burnt cheese around the end of it?
Yeah.
My grandmother would eat that. Like, I never thought that was normal for me, but
So she did that with all chicken?
Yeah.
Just any chicken, she did that?
Anything that was, like, the fried and crispy, she would eat.
Yeah.
Just whatever the crispiness was of it. So, I can't say it's not normal, because I've seen it, but I wouldn't do it.
I've seen others do it, and Kelly, you mentioned the extra crispy. I can't do that. I like the original recipe, and I can understand doing that, but I don't understand leaving the chicken behind.
What's the difference between original and extra crispy? Is there just a ton more of the breading?
Yes.
Okay, and it's all just fried up real crispy.
It's crispy, yeah. The original recipe is much thinner and softer, and I just like the flavor a lot better. But I like chicken. I want to actually eat the chicken.
Do you guys, this is something that makes me really, really nauseated when people do it, and a lot of people do it. When you eat a chicken wing, do you just put it all in your mouth, bite down, and just pull the whole thing off the bone?
I don't do that.
Oh, I can't take looking. I mean, it is interesting to look at because people are impressive when they do that. It's impressive, but it always kind of gives me like a weird feeling in my stomach. Like, oh gosh, you're getting gristle and the weird stuff in there.
I've seen people do it, and they just essentially spit the skeleton back on the plate.
Yes. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive.
You can't do it with the drummies.
Yeah, I can't
it's just,
do it.
I don't know how you can suck it, because you got to bite that off. I don't know how you can, but if you the flapper part, there's the two bones in it. If you pull one out and it comes out clean, then you can do that. You can accomplish that feat.
Oh,
I never trust anybody who eats chicken wings with a fork, though.
There's technique.
If you're cutting up your chicken wings, you're untrustworthy. There's something about you. You're right there at the right hand of Satan with Mr. Rogers.
I would do that with a fork because I need to see what's in the bite. Like, I'm not taking a blind bite of any kind of meat. No, I need to be able to inspect it to see if there's anything weird in there, a random vein. Like, I'm not eating any of that.
All right.
So don't. Yeah. Ugh.
Ron from Subway, I remember it too. He says, I remember a South Park episode where Cartman eats the skin off the KFC real quick and Kenny starts crying. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, breaking news. Brandon said we need to get the word out. Popeyes is getting rid of their chicken nuggets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you like crispy, battered skin, that there's more skin than chicken, Popeyes is for you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
To be honest, I've never had anything at Popeyes other than when everybody was stabbing people over the chicken sandwich. I tried the chicken sandwich, and I was like, it's not stab-worthy. It was all right.
Right.
It's good. It's
I'm
all
not
right.
stabbing anyone for this.
Anybody over this.
Jack said, have any of you been through the cereal section at Kroger lately? $7 for a box of cereal? Who's spending that much on a box of cereal?
Wild.
I'm glad you brought this up, because here's what pisses me off. If you go, I'm straight up serious. Hey, grocery stores, all of you, F you on this. Because I go in and you go to the cereal aisle, save more when you buy 5. I don't want to buy 5 boxes of Lucky Charms. I want to buy 1.
Well,
I don't want to buy 5 so I can get them for $2.49 a box. I want to buy 1 for $2.49 a box.
Right.
I don't need 5 boxes of Lucky Charms on standby. That might be great if you have a family of 8 and you go through cereal like it's going out of style, but for us normal people, how about you just mark down 1 box to a reasonable price so I don't have to buy 5?
well, I bet if it's on sale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but there
gotta
is
buy-
an expiration date.
You got to buy 5 to get the sale. I don't want to buy 5.
They got to move product.
So mark, you know what? I have a feeling you'll move a hell of a lot more product if you mark 1 box individually down at a time.
I don't disagree with that, but I know why they do it.
Oh, it pisses me off. Mix and match, 5 for 5. I don't need 5 boxes of cereal. I need 1. Maybe 2 at a good day.
Faith says, Kelly, that's called chicken trust issues. I do have trust issues when it comes to chicken. Any meat, really. Any meat.
Yeah, so does my wife, Heather.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a blind bite of any meat.
Yep. I understand.
Okay, Lewis, I'm sorry. I know your blood pressure's high on the cereal thing.
That's backed out.
Okay. But we could go in, and then you get 2.5 boxes of Lucky Charms, and I'll take 2.5 boxes.
Is that where we'd come to? All right, look, we got to partner up.
Partner up on
Get
our
the
grocery.
deal.
How do you cut a box of cereal in half? I want to be there to
I
see
think you
that.
just pour it out.
Oh, is
just
that
pour
how we
half
do it?
out.
Am I
I didn't know if you had some
Yeah.
really big scissors or something.
No.
Am I the only one that thinks that's ridiculous?
No, that's crazy. I mean, if you needed 5 boxes, you'd be at Costco, right? For a giant
Or
box.
I just get or I go to Costco and get the 1 jumbo
Yeah.
family.
Right.
You know, Mark
The
said
box you have to store in your garage because it won't fit in the kitchen.
Exactly. Mark just said we just spent $386 at Walmart for 2 weeks.
Oh, gosh. It's crazy.
Yeah, we can go through this. I mean, Matt just talked about a gallon of orange juice for $7. Yeah, we can go through all that. Faith said Aldi's for your cereal.
Aldi?
Aldi's,
gotcha.
Aldi's,
All right.
whatever.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
Let me give you a little update on recreational sales and where we are with that. Provisional dual licenses have been issued to several medical dispensaries in Columbus. And once these dispensaries prove that they've complied with several requirements, they'll be issued a certificate of operation to begin recreational sales. Now, the requirements are that they have to update their point of sale system to differentiate between recreational and medical transactions. They also have to demonstrate that they will be able to maintain an adequate supply of cannabis for medical purposes. And they also have to boost security. So which Columbus dispensaries have been given provisional dual licenses? Verdant Creations on Cassidy Avenue, Main Street Medical Cannabis on East Main, Harvest of Ohio on North High Street, True Leave Ohio on True Leave on Sankis Boulevard. So there you go. Those particular ones are well on their way to getting dual licenses. The Columbus Zoo says a beloved cheetah named Emmett has passed away. Emmett lived at the wilds and was really recognizable to visitors because he was always hanging out with his best buddy, a yellow lab named Cullen. Animal caretakers say Emmett died while he was sedated to undergo some treatment for health issues. The cheetah was born at the wilds in 2016 and was introduced to Cullen when both animals were just a few weeks old. So they've been best friends since they were tiny, tiny little babies. That's kind of a sad story. Tonight's presidential debate between President Biden and former President Trump will be unlike any other in history. For the first time since the presidential debate in 1960 between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, there will not be a live audience. For the first time since 1960. When Biden and Trump face off on the CNN debate stage, the candidates' mics will be muted while their opponent is speaking. The debate will be the earliest in election year history. Usually the typical first presidential debate takes place in September or October. This one's in June. It'll start at 9 p.m. It'll be 90 minutes long. There will be 2 3.5-minute ad breaks during which the candidates are not allowed to speak with their teams. So it should be an interesting display. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
have
understand
to mute it because they talk over each
Yeah,
other.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that for sure.
I don't hate it. I don't hate the no studio audience. I don't need the peanut gallery piping up at all. I just want a straight debate. Straight debate.
Well, will we get one?
I think so. I think that's what we're set up to
I
get.
know, what was it? The New York Times will have 29 fact checkers working throughout the debate.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if is that stuff going to show up on screen. I mean,
Well,
usually you
CNN
hear that.
will probably have them. I wonder. Although, the major networks are all simulcasting it off the CNN debates. Yeah, so maybe they all have their own fact checkers and they'll all be displaying. I've seen that before, haven't you?
Well,
fact check little chyron.
Is it on screen?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I mean, I always heard the fact checking after on the post, the post debate shows.
Right.
Would always come back with all that stuff, but I didn't remember. I was just curious. I couldn't remember if it would be on screen or not.
I saw a thing the other day where they were tallying up like votes and how much Robert Kennedy might pull in or where Nikki Haley's people are going to go. And they said that everything is lower because people are so dissatisfied about both options this year.
I understand.
And that's why they're having a hard time counting, because it really is people who are like, what the hell am I going to do? Why do I have to make this choice that I don't want to make?
That's what I've said.
I'll definitely be voting and making that choice. So I'm interested in the spectacle tonight because I feel like it is kind of a spectacle, because going in, we have all the people saying, oh, Joe Biden has, it's all these cognitive issues. And we have like, oh, Donald Trump is a felon. So you've got the two sides, the people, the supporters, like going at each other all the time. Let's see how the two of these do together.
I can't imagine anything would happen tonight that's going to change anybody's mind. I mean, people know what they're voting.
I think the muting is a good idea and the no studio audience is a good idea, because the last time they had these debates, they were so painful to watch and listen to, because neither one of them let each other speak. And then
they just insulted each other. I don't want to hear your insults. We've heard those for 4 years. Just talk about what we care about.
Right.
If that's possible.
I just want the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be getting hammered drunk at Fortress Obet, so.
Yeah, just show us the video of the best highlights of the night. Exactly. I need a clip show.
Exactly.
All right, those are your three things.
Pearl Jam on your Morning Blitz 710. It's Dick, Kelly, Lewis. Morning. Judging by Blitz Nation, everybody else equally excited about the non-debate tonight. So, update. No changes, but that's weather related. So I'm not irritated, upset. Everything looks identical to what it did the other day.
Talk about your neighbor's front lawn.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of posts I read there were 300 something comments. I couldn't read through all of them, but I saw a couple yesterday that kind of irritated me a little bit, because
like the mind your own business ones.
Yeah, like you're not hearing the whole story and you don't know what's going on behind closed. You're right, but this isn't a case of not knowing and thinking someone is physically incapable and you bitching about them because they're physically incapable. That's not the scenario.
Also, this is a chronic problem.
Correct. My neighbor across the street, I was pulling in yesterday to grab Chelsea, to take Chelsea to the vet. Or maybe I was coming back from the vet is what it was. And my neighbor across the street was outside, and she started, do you see this? City was already here twice. Every time. And was complaining about it. So it's not just me raging against the machine. And I said, well, if the city was just here, it'll be 9 days. Because, they give you the allotment is. So it'll be on the 11th hour that it gets done. But I kind of said, if I'm the city, I'm going, how many times do I have to keep doing this, dude? But for all the people, I don't understand. I guess where I'm confused about the mind your own business and all this crap, I guess I was brought up in a manner that we were not allowed to keep our yard looking trashy because we didn't want our neighbors to see that. When me and my sister had our toys, we had to pick stuff up. We don't live in a place where if you don't cut your grass on Thursday, you be damned. It's not like that, but it's, within a reasonable amount of.
Well, the post people are responding to and saying that stuff, did you give all the details up front that somebody tried to mow the lawn for them and they got upset and all of that?
Multiple times.
So I know.
Here's the issue and why it is your business, because you guys have been talking about maybe moving at some point in the future. Try to put your house up for sale next to a home that looks like that, where the lawn looks like that. It looks trashy. 0 people want to move in next to that. So that impacts your ability to sell your home for the right price. And it's an eyesore, and it also attracts vermin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Lauren and I were in Phoenix for a while. When we moved into Phoenix, we saw a place, and we looked at it we looked at it once, and we made the mistake of not going there during the day. We had neighbors that just piled trash in their backyard, and that's what we saw from our balcony. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So you learn your lesson. But anyway, that's it. Done.
All right.
Over.
We'll get there. You'll get there.
Easy Rider Rodeo. That's what we got going on.
Yeah, that is coming up August 29th through September 2nd. That will be at Smokin' Coal Farms in Bloomville, Ohio. Wade Jennings, the grandson of Waylon, performing along with Taproot. You got Smile Empty Soul, Cowboy, the ultimate kid rock band. If you would like a pair of tickets, text EASY to 99700. Just text the word EASY to 99700. Tickets are $50, so we'll take text number 50 and you will get a pair of tickets.
7:25 on the Morning Blitz. Good morning.
What'd you just shove in your mouth there?
Chex Mix.
Chex Mix. I've never seen someone chew so fast in my life.
I'm like, dude, we got 30 seconds.
It was a mismanaged bite.
I looked up and I'm like, 17 seconds. Damn.
Your eyes are watering and everything, but good job. You got that bite down pretty quickly.
Thank you. Wash it down with a little matcha green tea and we're good. All right. It's Kelly, Thick, and Lewis. Good morning. If you never believed we are live, now you know. So, what were you guys taught? My stepdad used to get on me about everything. Because until I started working in radio, I was chronically late for everything. And truthfully, I still am in the majority of aspects of my life, with the exception of work. But my stepdad, if I would show up to dinner, like 3 minutes late, my stepdad, damn it, you lost the sale. You're already late. Lost the sale.
Wait, for
you
dinner?
Lost the sale.
Yeah.
I love that. Trying to teach you a life lesson at dinner. That's hilarious.
I'm not buying from you now.
I love that.
I wasn't selling anything, and actually I was hoping you were buying dinner. But anyway, so it was always a thing about being on time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are on time.
Yeah. Showing up on time is, I was always said, that's half the battle.
Right. Well, not now. Not with this newfangled generation that we have.
Newfangled.
Apparently, almost half of Gen Zers between 16 and 26 say that being 5 and 10 minutes late is essentially the same thing as being on time. That's like saying fresh is the same thing as flash frozen.
Yes.
So
I feel like Gen Z is trying to rage bait us with that.
So if you're supposed to be at work at 9 a.m., what time do you get there? Realistically, you would probably say 8:45, being
Pulling into the parking lot, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
9, 9:05, 9:15. They're saying it's okay.
They all have time blindness. That's the problem. You have to excuse them.
40% of millennials say they forgive colleagues running 10 minutes late, but 26% of Gen Xers say they're okay with it. Boomers have zero tolerance for any kind of lateness.
Well, it's disrespectful to your coworkers.
Sure.
Period. You know, regardless of how it affects your work, you are absolutely disrespecting your coworker.
I am a believer that every now and again you encounter an act of God or something that's going to cause you to be late. Even if you leave on time, let's say you leave 20 minutes early to get to work 15 minutes early, you could run into a traffic thing that's not, and I don't think it's realistic to tell anybody, well, you got a plan for traffic, so you should probably leave your house an hour early to make that 15-minute drive, just in case. No, that's unrealistic. But if you're chronically 5 to 10 minutes late, then you have a problem. And you're kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree. My mom's chronically early. I grew up that way. We always arrived places very early. That was just her thing. She's, made sure we were everywhere early. My dad was chronically on time. I did not grow up with a parent who was okay with being late. Otherwise, I think maybe I would have felt like it's okay. What's the big deal?
Oh my gosh, we are getting so many.
See, that's
texts.
what I'm saying. This is I feel like Gen Z is loves to get everybody angry and worked up.
Ace said my sister's the poster child for Gen Z, and it drives me insane.
I don't think so, Kel. I think if they feel like if they keep doing it and keep saying it, it will become the norm.
I don't know. I've got nieces and nephews in Gen Z, and they're not rude, and they're not late.
He said
they're
half. You said half.
I said half. Both the children in my house, and it drives me crazy that they do this. Both the children in my house leave the house. If they're going to work, they leave with barely enough time to get to work. And it drives me insane because you're going to have problems. If that's how you lost the sale. If you're molding your life based on that theory, you are going to have conflict after conflict after conflict. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Jeez. Steve said, Amy said, I have 2 friends that show up 15 to 30 minutes early, and I find that so annoying. Like, does that make you look bad? Is that why?
Carrie from Delaware says, I blame the chronic for people being chronically late.
Now, Derek says anything after 5 minutes early is late. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. And he said a lot of people today have such a low work ethic. Jason
Rowe said, in my trade, if you're not 30 minutes early, you're late.
30 minutes early?
Yeah. I think I'm 20 and I leave 30 minutes before I have to leave. I think being on time is late. Krista, that's a good way to be. I'm late in a lot. If we're going to dinner, I'm late to get ready. I know that. But if it comes to work, I'm here on time or early. I try to be anyway. I think everybody, if you're walking in 10 to 15 minutes early, that's acceptable.
Here is what I've learned over my many years on Earth. And that is, at some point, you can't get worked up over other people. You have to just do yourself. You get places on time. And it's not your responsibility to make sure everybody else does that too. Like, you just have to let it. I know it's annoying, and I agree that it is annoying. You're like, well, if I have to show up at 8, why doesn't everybody else have to show up at 8? But I feel like I can't worry about that. I got enough in my life to worry about as to whether you're on time or not.
But I think it goes back to a deeper disrespect, and because if you're the chronically tardy employee, you're being disrespectful to every one of your coworkers, and it's not fair that should just be your normal and everybody else should accept your normal.
I agree, but if you're dealing with me being chronically late, how does it benefit you to get worked up over it? Really? I mean, it's not even like, I guess my boss should say something to me if I'm chronically late.
Right, exactly. And there it is. And
it's not your, for you, that is just a misuse of your energy to be all worked up over somebody else. Now, if it's impacting your life in a way that you cannot get your job done because this other person's not getting to work on time, that's one thing. But if it's just somebody who's annoying, like, oh, there they go again, 15 minutes late. I wish I could walk in 15 minutes late.
I think it's pretty simple. The companies who have trouble finding employees put up with it. Yeah. Companies who don't have a problem finding employees don't put up with it. Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to.
Ron said, if I want my... sorry, Ron. Ron said, if I want my daughter here at 9, I schedule at 8. She'll be late for her own school. Good morning. It's 7:43 with Vic, Kelly, and Lewis on your morning Blitz. And I forgot to say this earlier, but congratulations to Alan Price, Lewis Center, picking up tickets to the Easy Riders Rodeo.
Yeah.
Get that Kid Rock tribute band, Taproot, and some others.
I'm wondering about the aerial performances they're going to have going on out there. And what is a slow race? They're having slow races. I don't know what that means, but I feel like it will be funny.
Yeah.
You know, a weenie bite and a burnout contest. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. Barstool races, cornhole tournament, fire dancers, along with all the bands. So we'll have one more chance for you to win those tickets coming up tomorrow.
All right, I got this figured out now. 5,000 of anything, but it's got to start with a Y. What are you going with?
Yeah, this is like one of those deals where a genie is a bizarre thing where a genie comes out of a lamp and says, I'll give you 5,000 of the same thing, anything you want that starts with the letter Y.
I mean, there's an obvious answer, isn't there?
What is it?
Yacht.
That's what I was thinking. Now, earlier this morning, we were talking about it off the air, and Lewis said yen.
I don't know that I would do that anymore.
Yeah, because that's
5,000
$31 in American
Yeah,
money.
I was going to say.
I thought the yen was worth more.
Yeah, I mean $5,000 or 5,000 yachts. I'm going to open up a yacht store. I'm going to keep the best couple for myself and sell the rest.
Sell the rest.
Now, would that include Yamaha products?
I would think
like
so.
if I had a
Starts with a
Yamaha
Y.
motorcycle, could do it that way.
Jeez, what starts with Y? Yogurt?
You want 5,000
5,000
yogurts?
yogurts?
No, I want 5,000 yachts. I already
it's like-
made my choice.
Oh, 5,000 yams. How about 5,000 years of income? Can I say that?
No.
Does that
No.
that doesn't count?
Don't you see he's trying to get around the rules
Yeah.
a little bit?
I
I like that. It's
Started with a
ingenious.
Y.
I like
How
it.
about 5,000 YouTube subscribers?
Oh, well, that's just like getting $30 in yen.
Right.
Well,
Who cares?
Okay.
How about 5,000 Yeti? You could have like a Yeti zoo, but I mean, it's all humane. It's all humane.
Nope.
They're all being treated very well in luxurious accommodations.
Nobody would ever mess with me if I had a Yeti army. I love that.
I would
Okay.
take some yellow gold.
Yellow gold. 5,000 pieces of yellow gold.
Is that the stuff that turns your neck green?
No, that's fake gold.
Okay.
God. I don't want something that's going to give me a fungus. It's sterling silver. Awesome. So it's cheap. Got
Get
it.
5,000 yellowfin tuna and have sushi every day.
Yeah, but you got to cook it quick.
I know it's not going to last that long, is it?
No.
I mean, obviously, we're agreeing on the yacht, right? There's no
That
other
one's great.
great Y
Yeah.
word that
Yeah, I
you want
was-
5,000 of.
I got to tell you, at 5:32 a.m. this morning, I was really excited about the prospect of yen, and then I did the conversion.
Alex said 5,000 yellow diamonds.
Ah, there you go.
Are those the kind that turn your finger green? I'm just kidding. Yes,
5,000
yellow diamonds. All right.
You know what else I would take? 5,000 yards. And I say yard, not meaning football yards. I mean like neighborhood yards. Because I could sell those bad boys
Okay.
Oh, yards.
I gotcha.
5,000 yards. Yeah, all right.
and profit. Profit it up.
Let's see. Bill said 5,000 Yahoo stock shares.
Oh, all right.
That's creative.
So that's worth $30 as well, just like the yen.
Yahoo stock?
Jen said what about 5,000 yellow Camaros? You could have that.
All right. Well, if we can use the color of something,
Amanda said yo-yos. She'd never be bored again.
5,000 yo-yos. Jason Rowe, 5,000 yellow edibles. Can always count on you guys.
Yakuza. Oh, I'll have the Japanese mafia at your disposal.
Ooh, okay. 5,000 Yakuza.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Stephanie wants 5,000 yards of fabric.
Make a lot of clothes. Definitely make a lot of clothes.
I mean, what about 5,000 yesterdays?
Go back in time?
Or just you adding time? Because I mean, you're
I don't
talking
wanna
about
add time.
Let's see, 5,000 extra days. Oh, you want to go backwards?
Yeah,
So you're going back
my
to about
25 and out is still there, but if I could go backwards, I could alter my map that gets me to where I want my 25 and out.
That's going to put you around 2010. It's going to put you about 2010.
That was a good year.
So, do you get to take your knowledge with you? That's that argument again.
I want that.
Yeah.
If I can't go back in time not knowing what I know today,
What's the point?
What's the point?
You're just going
hard
to live
pass,
this. You're going to live
yeah.
the same life, right?
right, I got to be able to go, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that. I want to date this person, but I want to say no here.
All right.
I want that ability.
Now, Jamie Bias just wants 5,000 years to live. She just wants 5,000 years.
Now, see, while I do want 25 and out, I do think it would be badass to be immortal, like a Highlander. Only not losing your head, that whole thing, I could do that.
Right.
But to be able to live that long and see, like, the French Revolution and knowing that even if I had to serve in the French Revolution and I took a musket to the gut, no worries, I'm going to live through it because I'm immortal, it would be cool to see how much things have changed. Plus, here's the kicker. If you were that old, you could start yourself a nice little account in your family's name, and by the time you got to 2024, you'd be rolling deep in coin.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt wants 5,000 Yingling beers.
I mean, got to start somewhere.
Speaking of drinks, would 5,000 Yoo-Hoos be like
That's
horrible. It
that's
wouldn't
a
be.
lot
I mean,
of-
I'd be sailing away on my 5,000 yachts. But, Yoo-hoo, if you're real thirsty, that might be a good choice.
All right.
There are some that find the Yoo-hoo to be a fantastic beverage.
Stephen Grubb wants 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Okay.
All right.
There's
Stephanie?
probably some value in that, I'm sure.
Stephanie, 5,000 shares in YouTube.
YouTube shares. Okay.
What if you accidentally wish for 5,000 yodelers? Wouldn't that be the worst
most
thing that's
annoying
ever
thing
happened to
in
you
the
in your
world.
life?
I got to go buy 5,000 bullets to take this out of my misery.
Why? What? Can you get? Josh said, "How can you do 5,000 yards of land?" That's kind of what you
That's
were
what I said.
talking
Yeah,
about.
absolutely, Josh. That's acceptable.
All right.
5,000 you mama jokes.
Chuck said 5,000 Yankees. Aaron Judge and Babe Ruth. Baseball. Cards. Oh, he wants cards.
Stacey
I thought he wanted the actual players.
5,000 real yeses during sex.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe you just need a little Hauk Tuah. 5,000 of those.
And now, all right, listener. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Just before tonight's presidential debate, a new national poll is out showing Donald Trump has taken the lead over President Biden. A Quinnipiac poll says 73% of voters will likely watch the debate. 16% say each candidate's performance in that debate could lead to them changing their vote.
Really?
Sort of to your point, though, Thick, most people have their minds made up already.
I'm
But there's-
impressed. 16%?
Yeah, 16% say tonight's performance could change their vote. The poll also finds that Donald Trump now leads Joe Biden 49 to 45% head to head.
Nothing you can do, folks.
The debate's at 9 p.m. It'll last 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks.
That's different,
interestingly
right?
enough.
We never used to have commercial breaks.
Well, I don't recall
Yeah.
there being commercial breaks, but it's interesting. What did you say? How many New York Times fact checkers are on the-
29.
29.
Yeah. That's just from the New York Times.
That's interesting. Paris Hilton sat before the House Ways and Means Committee yesterday, urging lawmakers to make changes in the nation's child welfare system. She described the abuse that she suffered as a teenager when she experienced a parent-approved kidnapping that landed her in a residential behavioral program in which she was physically and sexually assaulted and force-fed medication. Paris Hilton urged lawmakers to pass the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. These facilities are wild, you guys, wild what they do to these kids to control behavior problems. Now, to her point, the death of a 12-year-old boy at a North Carolina wilderness camp for troubled adolescents has finally been ruled a homicide. Now, this child died back in February. His autopsy report was released this week. Now, this kid, less than 24 hours after arriving at Trails, Carolina, died. So what happened? Staff forced him to sleep inside a bivvy, which basically looks like a sleeping bag. It's for one person. They fully enclosed him in this bag. But in this particular bivvy, the inner mesh panel was torn. So these genius counselors sealed the outer weather-resistant door panel instead. So what that did was cut off his oxygen supply. So his official cause of death was asphyxia due to smothering. They smothered this 12-year-old inside basically a sleeping bag. That's how this kid died. Less than 24 hours after going into this adolescent wilderness camp for troubled kids.
Jeez.
This particular facility called Trails Carolina has since had its license revoked, thank goodness. But you can see why Paris Hilton is, big advocate for getting some changes made in this industry. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry for these places to take your troubled kid and
Fix them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how do you feel? You're a parent. You're like, my kid needs fixed. So you take him and they kill him.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It just...
Well, and what Paris Hilton was saying, which was interesting, was that these people are really crafty in the way they get your kids because they promise you help. They prey upon your biggest need, which is to get some help for your kid who's just out of control. And then they basically tell you, look, your kid's going to do and say anything to you to get out of here. So don't believe anything he says or she says. And they could be telling the truth, but you would always believe the facility over your own child. It's really sad and scary. Those are your 3 things.
Angus and the boys on the Morning Blitz, 8:08. It's thick. Kelly, Lewis on a Thursday. Full throttle Thursday tonight.
Time you go out there?
6.
Fortress and Obits.
Yep.
Big pate.
Yeah. 90 cents. Okay. Yes, Mary, a lot of people will agree with you. 90% say this year's presidential election is basically picking the worst of two evils. Yep. There's a lot of people that would agree. Not a lot of people happy with the choices.
No. Well, why would we? I mean, it's just like, gosh, why don't you guys go play golf or something?
Right? You're like 100 years old. Go do what people that old do.
Right.
Suck down Ensure pudding and watch The Price is Right.
Well, one thing people hate is being lied to.
Yeah.
Especially by our leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not specifying anybody, but politicians lie. We know it. So Wales, which is just east of England over in the UK, is trying to pass a new bill that would make it illegal for politicians to knowingly lie. If it becomes a law, Wales would be the first country in the world to introduce criminal sanctions for lying politicians.
Okay, well, in the devil's in the details. It's one guy who wants to make it illegal, but the current government leading Wales does not back the idea.
Why? Why would you not? Well, because they're all politicians. That's
Yeah.
why. Jeez. Of course they're not going to back it.
Right.
Well, I'm a politician. I might lie.
Right.
Can't have that. Under the current version, anyone who's caught intentionally lying would be disqualified from office.
Yeah, how do you prove intent? How do you prove that?
That you knowingly lied.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the thing. You can't, I mean, how do you regulate and police that?
This is kind of like a novelty song.
Yeah.
It's like a novelty bill. I'm doing it to get attention. I'm not thinking that it'll ever pass into law. But isn't that a novel? Aren't I clever for my idea to make it illegal for politicians to lie?
Well, but then again, who are you going to police it fairly? And I say this because Stacey just said no different than lying on a job application. They get fired after they find out. What's his face? The congressman that's doing OnlyFans now.
George Santos.
Oh, my gosh.
That guy lied about everything. And look how long it took for someone to finally let him go.
Yeah.
Which should have been after the first... Dude, you say you have a degree in this. Where's your degree? Oh, I don't really have one. See you, bye.
Right.
Like it should have been... There should have been a dozen different things. But again, that's rampant in Washington. You can find people on both sides of that coin.
Absolutely. And that's why I think this is a great idea. Just stop that. They won't have anything to say anymore. Politicians won't be able to speak.
No, exactly.
Because, you know when they're lying because their mouth is moving.
Pretty much.
Jeez.
Anyway, something to look forward to.
Yeah. What time's debate start tonight?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. 90 minutes. Will they both be standing at the end of the 90 minutes?
I think so.
I don't know. I can't stay up that late anyway. I'll have to watch it on Friday. That'll be my Friday night entertainment.
Why can't they do this at noon?
Right.
It's the Morning Blitz, 823, Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning. Interesting discussion off the air. I would love to bring it back, but on the air, that would be just awful.
We're talking about being lifetime appointed to jobs off the air, like the Supreme Court. I'm like, oh, give it to me. I want a lifetime appointment somewhere. I want job security, baby. Give it to me. Thick doesn't want to do anything till the day he dies.
I don't understand wanting to do a job until you die. I mean,
but you don't have to. If you're on the Supreme Court, you choose when you go.
I know. But Lewis had mentioned, Ruth Ginsburg, who did do it until she died.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't you at some point, and we were talking about the age of the candidates, for the debate tonight. It's like, I don't know, man. At some point I want to just go enjoy what life I have left without the stress and pressure of all that crap. But I don't know. Everybody's different,
power.
I guess.
Give me the power. I'll take that.
You want the power.
I want the date. My last breath. I want to be spent making a ruling. I want to be judging something on my very last and final breath on this earth.
Well, is that why we have these two old guys running? Because they just want the power? I mean, what do they got? What are they there for? I mean, they don't need money. They could,
It's not for the salary, I'll tell you that.
No.
It's for the power.
Well, Trump doesn't even take his salary, right? But he didn't the last time.
Right. Yeah.
That's weird.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have an update on our...
the Hauk Tuah girl.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hauk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Jeez. She has gotten so famous, it's ridiculous. What's her name?
Haley Welch.
Haley Welch.
I wonder how Haley Welch's parents are doing today.
I don't know, but I guess she's made tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise sales so far.
Oh, wow. Is that right? Does she have like an account set up?
Yeah, somewhere. I mean, I know she's
like
got...
social.
Oh, I don't know. But she's selling like hats and stuff. Like they look like campaign hats that say Hauk Tuah 24. And you can get it autographed by her, like $44 before buying them.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, here we go. Haley Welch. She has 77,000 followers on Instagram, and in her bio it says Hauk Tuah 24.
Yeah, she probably had 70 a month ago.
Look at that.
Followers.
She's changed her name to Official Haley Welch.
Official Haley Welch.
Her parents are, I think her mom or something is a pastor or a minister.
Oh.
So I'm guessing that they must be so proud.
So what's the update?
You had the update, I thought.
You have the update.
Uh-oh. Nobody has an update.
Oh, I do have the update. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sources say that Hollywood is now interested in her now.
Oh, what are you going to do with her?
Well, she's pretty. What do you mean, what are you going to do with her? Hollywood could use her up and spit her out, just like she encourages others to do.
Do you pay extra? Do you pay extra for that?
Some people will.
I'm just asking because they said that the Cash Me Outside girl, remember her?
Golly, she's a multi-millionaire now.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that girl can make some money.
Oh,
She's making $1 million a day probably on OnlyFans. She's making so much money.
She's got a rap career. And
I don't think she's making $1 million a day, but you know what I mean. So the Hauk Tuah girl, it can do well, I believe.
That was Danielle Bergoli.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What is she worth today?
So what does Hollywood say? They're scouting her for movies? What are we talking?
They're saying that agencies want a piece of what she's got going on now. They think she already has a deal with an agency called UTA, but that's not true. She's sold tens of thousands of dollars in merch, so somebody out there wants to capitalize on it, so she might not need that preschool teaching job anymore.
Here's the deal with these flash-in-the-pan situations, like the Hauk Tuah girl and the one who had 2 seconds of fame with her, I'm looking for a man in finance, trust funds, 6'5", blue eyes. That girl, she was signed almost immediately to a talent agency, and nobody cares about that. Literally 10 minutes after it happened. Like,
right.
Nobody's paying attention to that anymore. And this Hauk Tuah girl's got her time right now, but it's really already fading.
It is, but here's the thing. You can capitalize on that, though. And I swear this is where women have an advantage. They really, truly do. Because this girl, if it were not for Hauk Tuah, she might be the hot girl that you notice at Chili's. Hauk Tuah! You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're not falling all over to... You know what I mean? To know who she was. She would walk into Chili's and get a table and be, oh, she's kind of cute. And that would be the end of it. Whereas now, she can Hauk Tuah onto social media and make a couple of millions of dollars. Where if a dude would have said that, if you asked the same question, what can a girl do in bed? Oh, you got to Hauk Tuah and spit on that thing. It's different coming from a guy.
I'll say. Jeez.
No, that guy's not selling $10,000 worth of merch, I promise you.
I wish we could go back in time like 15 seconds so I'd have to hear that.
Oh, I can pull the audio for you, Kelly.
Go to Nashville and do the same thing and replace her with a dude. What's your name? Henry Welch. Henry Welch has forgotten about the next morning, except for his buddies. Dude, you said Hauk Tuah. Let's go get another Budweiser. And that's the end of it.
Danielle Brigoli, a.k.a. Cash Me Outside Girl, a.k.a. Bad Baby, worth $30 million. That is unbelievable.
Right? Exactly. For doing what? Being on Dr. Phil and saying,
acting
Cash
like
Me
an
Outside.
idiot.
$30 million. Come on.
Man.
I act like an idiot and piss people off every day. I am not worth $30 million.
Well, if Hauk Tuah Girl wants to be worth $30 million, I feel like she will have to go on OnlyFans.
Well,
I don't think she's going to make that in Hollywood.
Jason Rowe, I agree. If I had boobs, I'd rule the world. Yeah. With social media, you can. Now, the one thing about social media that they don't realize, you start making money off YouTube and stuff like that, and they start giving you stuff, you got to pay the taxes on that. Nothing's free. All of a sudden, the IRS comes knocking for that stuff you endorsed. Yeah, there's still a fee involved in that.
Doug Rogers said, Hauk Tuah, the second spitting. I can see the movie now.
But seriously, do you think if it was gender reversed that anybody would be talking about Henry Welch?
No, not at all.
No.
In fact, most people would go, oh my God, he is so disgusting. Did you see that YouTube idiot yesterday, Hauk Tuah, on that thing? What the hell was he thinking? I might be in the minority, but I could listen to Chris Cornell sing just about anything all day long.
Yep.
And be completely fine.
The minority?
I don't think you're in the minority.
I don't think so.
No?
No, man.
It's a fairly proven fact that he was probably one of the greatest rock singers in history.
But I swear to God, I saw someone not too long ago when they were talking about singers. It was someone, you know how everybody posts those Mount Rushmore posts?
Yeah.
Someone said Chris Cornell, and I saw someone so overrated. I'm like, what planet
That's
are
the
you
minority
on?
right there.
Yeah,
The person who
that
thinks
person's
that.
in the minority.
Yeah.
8:43, not Sour, the voice of Chris Cornell. It's Thick, Kelly, and Lewis on the Morning Blitz. Shout out to Thomas, who shot us a nice message and had a question about Fortress O-Bets tonight. Can you put car audio on display? Dude, there was some badass car and bike audio on display the last time I was there. So knock yourself out. So here's something local for you guys, and how I'm not surprised that this even came up. This is from Upper Arlington. I'm not surprised this has come up. I'm surprised this doesn't come up sooner. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
I have a question, and I'm prepared for the ridicule, which, by the way, makes me sad to say, but it's truth on some of these sites. Tonight, my family and I were enjoying our first outside dinner on our patio. A drone was flying above and then stayed just above our backyard for a long time. Flew away, came back, hovering about 40 to 50 feet above our back patio for about 4 or 5 minutes. I assume recording us for whatever reason. I feel like this is an invasion of our privacy. Am I wrong? If it quickly flew over, fine. But hovering for long periods of time to me is not okay. And I agree. You build privacy fences in your yard so you can have some privacy from your neighbors. A privacy fence does not mean you're antisocial and does not mean you don't like your neighbors. It just means, I don't want my neighbors watching me eat. Or
sometimes you want your privacy.
Right. But now with the drone thing and GoPro cameras, I feel like it is an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, this is from the Upper Arlington, Ohio discussion forum on Facebook, and it got a lot of response. First off, I can tell you that it is not illegal to fly a drone over anybody's yards. That's FAA regulations.
Is it really?
It is absolutely legal.
What about a property owner's legal expectation of privacy?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. It is not illegal. They can fly that drone over any property they want, but does that change if they're recording video of somebody in their backyard? Because, they get the same treatment as airplanes, and you can't restrict an airplane from flying over your property, in a certain level, obviously. But the airplane's not recording you with video recording. So that's where I don't know if anybody knows what that is based on the law, but Kelly, I had this issue because my next door neighbors have a pool, and when we moved in, their daughters had just graduated high school. So here's these two, college girls out back at the pool, and this drone would fly over and sit there. And I'm like, man, you friggin' pervert, and I can see them, they probably do that to try to find every pool in the neighborhood and do that, and it's come back several times. So I haven't seen, they've since moved out, so I haven't seen the drone anymore since they moved out.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
So hypothetically, Anything ever going on at that pool these days?
You can catch Thick Rick over there.
Yeah. They had a pool party over the weekend.
I'm good. Hard pass.
What are you talking about?
Well, no, I didn't know if do the college daughters ever just hang out at the pool?
They will come and have a pool party with their friends from time. They usually have a big 4th of July party every year.
Dang it! Don't be creepy, please.
Why?
Your next sentence?
I was going to come visit my friend Thick Rick.
Oh, is that right?
How is that creepy?
When you call and ask if the girls next door are at the pool before you come over, that's creepy.
What? Maybe I wanted to be in a Speedo and not offend anybody.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hauk Tuah.
Yeah, we know what you're looking for.
Just saying.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you're a pervert, man.
Well, I mean, you open the door for it.
Yeah. Now they were what did you say they were having dinner?
They're having dinner.
Yeah, so I don't know what, maybe they were just trying to, what were they eating down there? I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean,
it is weird.
I would feel a little weird.
Yeah. If it just flies over my property, I don't care. But when you stop and hover over my property, I know you have a camera. I know you can record me. I know you can see everything I'm doing.
Right. That's where I feel like it's a little weird.
And I don't know, I don't know what the laws are on the video and the recording of stuff.
What's the law say if I have a BB gun and I shoot down a drone that's hovering over my backyard?
See, I've wanted to do that.
Is that legal? Because you're destroying someone's personal property, but it is on your property. But is it on your property? Because who owns the airspace? Yeah.
Mike said shotguns fix that drone problem. Courthouse Sean said a slingshot is appropriate for a drone
slingshot
hovering in my neighborhood.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Someone said get a BB gun. And Amanda said, and that was the day that Heather threw Rick's drone away.
I don't know, man.
Okay, if you're the one flying the drone and hovering over someone's backyard, you are a creep. So let's just that's a for sure, right? You're a creep. It's not your business what's going on in your neighbor's backyard.
Where I can see it is, let's say you just moved in, you're considering renovating your backyard, and you're curious to see
Knock
what
on
some
their
of your
door.
Fair point. Fair point.
Wait a minute. Go on. I like to hear your ideas of why this would be okay.
Taking pictures of their yard so you can get some ideas. Someone just said the city of Columbus flies drones over neighborhoods to look for code violations.
Oh, okay. So if you're the HOA president, maybe you're flying your drone in someone's backyard.
And Larry said, as a homeowner, unfortunately, you may own the land, but you don't have you don't own the airspace above it. So when it comes to the laws, you pretty much don't have a leg to stand on.
All right,
okay, so can I go look in somebody's window?
Yeah, so it's 99% of the time, this situation makes you a weirdo if you're flying a drone and looking in someone's backyard.
You could go look in somebody's window, but I got to tell you, that's going to make you look like a real creeper. So I would second guess that before you do it. But to each their own.
Of course, I'd have to physically be on their property to do that.
Not with the right set of binoculars.
Okay.
Or
all
glassware.
right. So if I stand on a sidewalk with binoculars looking through somebody's front window, that must be legal.
Well, you're on the city sidewalk.
Yeah. So I must be allowed to do that.
All right, we're getting a baby Huey, Larry. People are saying you cannot shoot down a drone.
I thought that was true. I that's what I thought we heard before.
What if you got an attack drone and you shot it down like a dogfight in the air?
But when they say you can't shoot one down, does that mean if it's just flying around? But if it stops and it's recording your backyard, is it still? I should be allowed to shoot that thing. But then you're talking about shooting guns in the city limits and all that. Even if it's
a BB. Are you not allowed to shoot a BB?
You are, yes, yeah, okay. A pellet. Even I have a pellet rifle.
Okay.
With a scope on it, but it's just a pellet. And I'm allowed to shoot it in my backyard if I want to.
Popcorn Pam, who's doing God's work when it comes to making awesome snacks, said that we need Sugar to go to war on the drones. You might.
We need to talk to Sugar about this.
This is a good question for Sugar.
Yeah, this is a great discussion for
Somebody
Sugar.
said, how long before they hover over an ATM and record your PIN number?
Solid question.
They still have to have your card, so there's a little mountain to climb on that little scheme. But, it's interesting.
Well, but again, how long till they hover over your property so they find out what time of day you're leaving, what time of day you
exactly.
come back? There's a lot of creepy stuff that could go on with this. I can see where people would be uneasy.
I can't think of a scenario where people wouldn't be uneasy about that, or where it would be appropriate to hover your drone over someone's backyard. Tell me a scenario in which that would be fine.
Yeah. It's not right.
I can't come up with one. Except Lewis wants to redecorate and wants to
This is interesting.
hover his drone over all his neighbors' backyards and take pictures.
Only if you have a pool and college girls, all right? Not everybody's yard. Landowner owns not only as much of the space above the ground as he or she occupies, but also as much thereof he or she may use in connection with the land. It's debated, but typically agreed that 500 feet above the tallest building in cities and suburbs and 360 feet above the tallest structure in rural areas.
Huh.
So.
Okay, so not close enough to get any details.
Amanda said maybe they couldn't decide what to have for dinner, so they were just browsing with their drone.
Yeah, that's Lewis's excuse. Well, I didn't know what to grill, so I just flew my drone over all my neighbors' backyards to see what they were grilling.
It is legal for Rick to stand on public property with his binoculars. Creepy. I mean, you're probably not going to do yourself any favors, but you could. They couldn't stop you.
It is a federal offense to shoot down a drone. Damn.
That's crazy.
If they can see me, what if I hide right? Yeah.
Matt said you can't trespass the eyes. As long as you're on public property, you look at any window you want.
Jeez.
Well, that's the best thing. If you're going for a walk at night and somebody's got their drapes open and their lights on, you better believe I'm looking in
Here's
there.
the question. What's creepier? The drone hovering above or the dude climbing up the side of the privacy fence to get a look?
Both are the same.
Okay.
I don't like any of it.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Well, millions of Americans plan to spend part of their night tonight watching 2 wildly unpopular elderly men argue about which one of them should run the country. Going into the CNN debate between President Biden and former President Trump, the share of voters with negative views of both candidates is the highest in decades. So it seems like many people are going to be hate watching this debate. And among those who are hate watching the debate, most have low expectations. Now, to allow you to get through this debate, if you are a drinker, it could go for anybody, really. Just get your alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage of choice, anything you want to slam. And let me go over the rules here. And this is from McSweeney's.net. It's really funny and it's super lengthy. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but let me tell you some of the rules, okay? Every time Trump places the emphasis on a random simple adverb in the middle of a sentence, you're supposed to drink. Like, I'm very, very smart. Probably.
Very,
Yes.
probably.
Yes. You take a drink.
Or a hit.
Anytime Biden makes a moderately self-deprecating joke about his age, but then loses the thread and stumbles over the punchline, take a drink. Anytime Trump mentions golf tournaments, or golf resorts, drink. Anytime Biden mentions his hometown of Scranton, drink. Anytime you're not 100% sure that Biden isn't currently at that very moment experiencing a health incident, drink. Anytime Trump praises a foreign leader, drink. Stuff like that. You guys, there are also plenty of bingo cards out there if you want to play presidential debate bingo. There are tons of them to download if you're so inclined.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
No.
This is crazy.
No, it is pretty wild. This is a weird thing as well. NASA has just awarded SpaceX an $843 million contract to build the vehicle that will bring the International Space Station out of its long-time orbit with Earth when its operating lifespan ends in the year 2030. So that's coming up quickly. SpaceX will be building this vehicle that'll take the ISS out of orbit, but NASA will oversee the controlled deorbiting of the ISS. And it also says it'll be in charge of making sure there is no risk to populated areas, because what's going to be happening is it's expected to break up once it re-enters the
space
Earth's
station.
orbit. The space station.
So we're getting rid of the space station.
In 2030, its operating lifespan ends.
Oh, so
Now,
you're going to get a new one?
Not that I know of.
Huh.
I don't know. Now, there is a chance they could make it operable past 2030. That is an option as well. But they need to have something ready to go to bring the ISS out of orbit.
Or are they just going to leave it up there with the rest of the junk that's
They
floating
thought
around?
about maybe, I think, trying to throw it further into space.
That's what I was just going to say.
But I guess for some reason it was either financially not possible or it was impossible technically to do that. So I don't know. This is what they're doing. They're getting SpaceX to build something that's going to go up there and take this bad boy out of orbit.
All right. Maybe there's just nothing left for him to do on the space station.
No, it won't be operating.
It's a safety thing.
Yeah, it's the operating lifespan of this thing.
No, I know, but if they're not
kaput.
going to upgrade it or they're not going to replace it, maybe it's not worth it because there's nothing left to do. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the missions. Like
Yeah.
what else are we doing up there rather than just
'Cause
floating around?
Now we're going to go, build stuff on the moon. So
Have we
our
perfected?
space station will be on the moon.
Have we perfected the space toilet? Have we perfected that? That to me would be job number one.
Well, I think
Howard Wolowitz built one for NASA.
but you pee in a bag and it crystallizes it.
Ooh, I like that.
You know how I know this?
What about number two?
Well, that I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just floating around out there.
All right, guys. Happy drinking game bingo playing on the debate tonight, and those are your three things.
By the way, regarding the drones recording and using video to spy on you in your backyard, there is a bill in Ohio right now that will crack down on trespassing and voyeurism with drones.
Nice.
It would make it so an operator couldn't record, photograph, or spy on you in a place where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. It's still kind of in the early stages, the bill, but that's what the new bill aims to do.
Nice.
So we'll see if that passes.
Good morning, Mark Morton. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. So let's talk. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Today, especially, your book, Desolation, a heavy metal memoir, man. How long's this been in the works?
Gosh, a couple of years, man. Took a while to write. I've never written a book. You know what's funny? My wife pointed out to me the other day, I am a really, really bad typist. Is that the word? Typist?
Typist, yeah.
So it takes me a minute to get what I want to write down onto the keyboard. It took me a couple years to write it, man.
Are you shocked when people realize that you guys have been doing your thing for like 30 years now? Is that crazy to you?
It's not that crazy to me because I was the one doing it for 30 years.
Right.
My knees remind me daily that I've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah. And obviously during that time, you dealt with something that, man, so many people in this country, so many people that I am close to, it's happened to. You've dealt with addiction. And I just want to say congratulations on overcoming that, man. That you have to feel like a whole different person now, right?
Well, thanks, man. I don't know that I ever overcome it. You know what I mean? If I start thinking that I've beat it, that's a little bit of a scary place for me to get mentally. So I stay sober one day at a time. I'm not a spokesperson for recovery or sobriety in any sense. But that's been my experience is if I focus on today and stay grateful, then things tend to work out.
Do you get a lot of the younger guys now that are up and coming? Because there's been a big resurgence, it seems like, in the last couple of years where there are a lot more metal acts and they're becoming more and more mainstream. Do you get a lot of the younger guys who are asking you for advice because of the fact that you guys have been doing this and doing it well for so long?
Yeah, we do, man. And we are in a really fortunate position where we're able to help bands out here and there. We can put them on tours or be available, like you're alluding to, for insight and advice and to share our experience. And that feels great. There were people that did that for us, and it feels really cool as a veteran band now to be able to, there's a great, really, 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 really creative and really, really happening young metal scene. And it feels really good to be respected by those guys and girls, and to have them reach out to us for insight and perspective, and we're happy to share our experience with them.
That's awesome. I have used this as a trivia question here on the radio more than once when I say what metal band originally went by the name Burn the Priest, and that was you guys. The answer is Lamb of God. And what went into, because that was your original name, what went into that? Why was that the original name, and how did it change to Lamb of God?
Well, the name Burn the Priest was really just kind of uttered. In my recollection, it was by me. I haven't had anyone sort of argue that. So I think it was me that said it first. And we were really honestly, we were a basement drinking club. We'd get a case of beer and jam in this sort of dingy brick-walled basement in Richmond, playing these just absolutely unlistenable, extreme, like grindy metal riffs. And we had just finished this thing we were putting together, and I was like, man, that is crazy. That sounds evil. That's like some burn the priest kind of thing. And we just kind of, and it was very, just kind of, I'd never said those words in succession in my life. And so we started going by that. But over time, over a few years after playing under that name and starting to get out of town a little bit with it and getting some opportunities to record and release music, we sort of collectively decided that we were going to limit ourselves if we were known as that. We would be kind of pigeonholed into this thing that we really weren't. So we changed the name to Lamb of God.
Makes sense. Is there a track that you just love playing? I mean, I know you have multiple tracks, but is there one that you just like is one of your favorites to play live?
There are a bunch. It has a lot to do with the crowd, typically. I play all the songs in the set every night, but the way the crowd reacts is really what kind of feeds our energy. We have more recently been opening with a more recent song called Memento Mori, and that one's fun because we're blasting right out of the gates with it. And there's just typically this feeling, this vision, and this feeling, and this energy of joy. When the lights go up and we're blasting into that song, and I just see hands in the air, and I see dads with their daughters on the front row and smiles, and it just makes me really happy, man.
With a catalog as deep as yours now, how difficult is it for you guys to put together a set list anymore? Because there's plenty to choose from, and there's always going to be stuff that doesn't make the cut.
Yeah, it's the challenge becomes, and this is a good problem to have. There are now at this point so many songs that people are dying to hear live that it would be weird if we left out, right? So if we're doing a festival show and we only have an hour to play, well, that's 12 songs, and there's probably 8 that we have to play, or people are going to be bummed,
Right.
So the challenge becomes, trying to mix it up and still include the songs that people are anticipating.
As far as the live shows go, we've had you here a couple of times at Rock on the Range, which is now called Sonic Temple, and I love being on the floor. I like a mosh pit, but when you guys are playing and you get into a mosh pit, there are guys wearing like football mouth guards, and I'm like, they're here for something different than me. But
that's a real thing. That's really true.
It is absolutely true. And then there is the thing called the Wall of Death. And I haven't gotten into that one either. But when you're on stage, and you've got the crowd and you see those big pits open up and then you see this wall of death happens. I mean, what does that do for you? Do you wish you were down in it, or do you think these guys are insane? How's that feel?
There are definitely cats out there with mouthpieces in. I don't know, man. I don't know if you've ever met me in person. I'm about 5'7" with my shoes on. I don't want to be in a mosh pit with dudes wearing.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm also 51 years old, so there's that.
I have a friend of mine has been a diehard fan of yours forever, and even he's like, "Yeah, I want to drag you into a mosh pit, but it's never going to be a Lamb of God mosh pit."
It's a different level, man. It's a very different level.
We have incredibly passionate fans, and they provide me with spectacles that I can. I'm not sure I could see anywhere else.
I don't think so.
And I love them.
I don't think so. Loved your solo stuff. The tune with Chester Bennington, Cross Off, phenomenal. We're still playing that. People still request it. They still love that song. Any new music, solo music coming from you in the future again?
Oh man, I'm always working on
stuff. Right.
Nothing to announce, but yeah,
Okay.
I got music in my head, man. I got to get it out.
All right, Mark Morton, guitar player from Lamb of God, his new book, Desolation, a Heavy Metal Memoir, out today. Go get it, read it. And thanks so much for taking the time to join us, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys again on the road at some point in time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.